Miss Elliott, you can hear us. You're on mute, but I see you.
Yes.
So that's good. So we're just waiting a little bit. There's a few people who are still coming in.
Okay.
Okay, good
Oh,
morning.
finishing up something.
So what's that?
I'll just put me on mute.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. So good morning to those who just joined. We're just going to start in a minute or so to just give people the time to finish whatever meeting they are in and join this meeting. So thanks for being here. Okay, just again, we're gonna start at 12:03, so one more minute or so, and then we're gonna start. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Okay, it's 12:03, so we will start. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Greg Guanel. I am the director of the Caribbean Green Technology Center at the University of the Virgin Islands. I have some of my colleagues here, Miss Janine Francis Brown, Miss Nikita Beck, and then Sam Harlow, who have been very helpful in not only help put this program together, but also put this event together. So I just want to express my thank you and also acknowledge the team. So the goal of today is to talk about the new associate degree in renewable energy technology that UVI is offering. And so what I'll do is I will show a few slides that will explain why we created the program, what we can expect the program to deliver in terms not only of the skills that will be learned, but also the classes that will be offered starting next semester. And then Nikita will provide some guidance in terms of the process for registering for classes. So and then at the end, we can, entertain any questions or comments or salutations, from the group. However, if you don't understand something, if I say something and you didn't quite catch what I was trying to say, please, raise your hand. Don't hesitate to, interrupt, so that you can understand what I'm trying to say or Nikita is trying to say. So don't wait for any pressing clarifying question. Do not wait to interrupt us, but we will have general question and answer at the end of these events. So now I'm going to share my screen. So give me 1 second to start the few slides that I want to share with you. So hold on 1 second. Oh, okay. So now you should all be able to see my screen. So as I mentioned, the purpose of this event is to discuss and present the basics. Oh, there is some, sorry, my bad. There are, they automatically launch. Okay, here we are. I'm removing the subtitles. Okay. So this is to present the basics about the Renewable Energy Technology program that UVI is going to offer. Most of the activities will take place on St. Croix, but as I will discuss shortly, a few courses will be offered both on St. Croix and on St. Thomas, because we believe that many on St. Thomas can benefit from a lot of the content. Right now, a lot of the hands-on will be on St. Croix. Eventually, we will have the hands-on component on St. Thomas. So why? I think most of you probably know why, but I think it's also important to provide some context, our thinking at the university for why it's important to create this program. The renewable energy market is booming, right? You can see in Vision 2040, the goal of the territory is to have 75% of the total energy consumption coming from renewable energy sources. There are a lot of very large-scale program and efforts and investment happening all around the Caribbean. The map that you see of the VI with St. Thomas, St. John, and St. Croix with the little blue dots, those are the people who have solar that as of 2020, and this number keeps increasing every week. All the solar companies are very busy installing more and more solar, and the number of jobs in the renewable energy market is just booming in the United States and in the Caribbean to answer to this demand. A lot of it is driven by some of the Biden administration policies, but given the instability of the energy grid, both in the VI and in the mainland, with the hurricanes and the storms and other type of disruption, more and more people look at solar as a backup system, as a way to have a level of security. And we believe that this trend will continue for that reason, despite any type of changes in national policy, because we believe that people see, I believe, and I believe most of you believe, that solar battery systems are becoming a necessity for household in this new environment that we live in. And so just to kind of give you some numbers, the solar industry employs twice as many workers as the coal industry, meaning that they are taking over, in terms of the form of jobs for those who are interested in the energy industry. In 2021, when a large survey was done nationwide, 89% of the firms reported difficulty finding qualified applicants. And we believe that is very true up until today. And so that's why, again, we believe that we need to have a trained workforce in the VI. If you go on any sort of job search tool like Indeed.com and such, what we found is that there's a lot of ads for to have people working on renewable energy in the Caribbean or solar job in the Caribbean. And what we have found through discussing this when we were exploring the creation of this program is that a lot of companies want to hire certified talent. Yes, it's good to hire people who have some knowledge, some people who have a certificate here and there, but people who really have the sort of higher level certificate, higher level of understanding is what the companies are asking for. Right now, a technician, a few years, so this was pre-2024, so it doesn't take into account some of the inflation that has happened in the last 2 years. But in 2023, starting salary for installers and technician was between $15 and $24 an hour. We believe now that it is higher than that. A drafter, what we find is that the type of salary is between 30 to 40K a year, and even more for designer. And so what we were looking at or thinking about as we were putting this program is that there is a demand for talent, there is a pipeline for jobs that can start at the technician level, but that can evolve through time. And so what we said is that why don't we create talent in the VI with the ability to do just that, ability to jumping into the market, but have the skills to evolve and, either continue into this field through further education or have the skills to evolve the position that they're in. So that's why we're looking, in the program that you will see shortly is as comprehensive as we, thought was possibly to be achieved in 2 years. So I'm going to present the specific of the coursework, but what do you expect if you finish the whole program at UVI? You expect to be certified in solar installation, have an understanding of the technology, both solar and battery system, a little bit of wind system, a little bit of other type of renewable energy system. You will not be certified, but you will understand how they work so that you can shift, you can, change, or you can work for a firm that does it all. But beyond the technical knowledge, what the type of training that we will provide is an ability to communicate, an ability to work with clients, an ability to provide customer service. Because very often, and I have experienced this, you receive a system, you don't quite know how it works, and questions really start after you receive it. That's when you say, oh, where is this beeping coming from? Oh, why is it doing this now? And that's where the customer service really makes a difference. And that's what we want people who graduate from a UVI degree to be very customer oriented. They know what they know and they can communicate to the client. There's an ability also to read and create construction drawings and having an entrepreneurial spirit and marketing skills, because we recognize that many of you or many people want to have their own company. Many people want to work with others to build a company. And, it's a competitive market, so you need to be able to differentiate yourself. So as you will see, we also offer courses in entrepreneurship, marketing, as well as the sort of technical skills that we mentioned earlier. So it's a 2-year program. As always, there's an ability to take particular courses, but the AAS degree is a 2-year program. It is based on St. Croix because that's where we build the infrastructure in terms of the lab, the solar farm. Eventually, it's going to happen on St. Thomas, but right now we are starting on St. Croix. We build the program so that students who are very interested have the prerequisite to continue with a Bachelor of Science in Physics or Mathematics at UVI, or get into a pre-engineering program at UVI to get into engineering later in the mainland. Like I mentioned, we go beyond solar. We are thinking energy management. So we believe that those who finish this program will, they will be armed to be able to compete for jobs outside of the solar industry. If, they realize, what, getting on top of roofs is not something I like, I would prefer to do more wind, or I would prefer to do, another type of energy, you will have the basics to understand what that other type of energy system, how this new industry works. And we believe that you will be competitive because you will have this core understanding. So starting in next spring, we're going to have a soft launch with one course offered. Then we're going to have another course offered in the fall. And the full program will really sort of take shape as we sort of continue. So those are the courses that are being offered. So first, the Renewable Energy Technology courses. And there are 8 courses that are really focused on renewable energy technology. The first one, which we're going to be offered this fall, both on St. Thomas and St. Croix, a lot of it will be online with some hands-on, will be the Introduction to Renewable Energy Technology. And what it will be is an overview course to sort of understand what is solar, what is wind, what is hydro, what is geothermal, how do they work, what is required in terms of resources, engineering, et cetera, et cetera. So this course is going to be a foundational course that sort of will explain what it's all about and provide people with this sort of broad overview and understanding that is required to enter into the energy field. Another course that will be hopefully offered in the fall of next year and then continue on other semester is going to be an energy auditing course. This course is going to be for people who are really thinking about energy management, people who sort of really like the idea of helping people manage their energy bill, helping large either homes or public buildings or companies with big warehouse to manage their energy needs. Right now, UVI is going through an energy auditing process, and we are learning a lot about the importance of HVAC system, the importance of maintenance of HVAC system, the importance of using the right type of lighting, the importance of even sort of the scheduling different activities to maximize savings on energy use. So this course is going to be for people who like to think about energy broadly, who like to think about, hey, how can I help this person build their house so that the way the windows they pick, the type of roof that they pick, even the painting on the building can help minimize their energy needs and energy consumption. So this course will be, we are planning to offer this course in the fall and in subsequent years. And it's going to be offered again, both on both St. Thomas and St. Croix. Most of it will be online. The next course is residential cooling and heating and wind energy. So this course will get into a little bit more into sort of the technology, the wind energy technology, talking about wind turbines, how to think, design, install, even site large wind turbines. So we're talking about farm scale level, but we will also talk about, home level or boats. We believe that there may be a fair amount of owners of yachts, owners of sailboats who are interested in having solar or wind on their boat as a form of, source of energy. And so hopefully the goal is, those who take this class will be able to assist not only the small boat owners with their needs, but also be able to quickly enter the wind energy market if they want to work with large wind farm type companies. This course will also going to be touching upon other technologies such as solar heating, but also take a deeper dive into cooling and heating for buildings and such. Then after those sort of courses that really provide a solid foundation and a solid understanding of both energy management and renewable energy technology, we're going to then start getting into more solar type technologies. And so there's 2 courses about photovoltaic installation. One is the theoretical part. The other one is the lab, the hands-on. After taking this part, people will be able to take the NABCEP certification exam. So they have this nationally recognized certification. Then the following course will be the commercial maintenance and monitoring. So that's for thinking about, solar farms or large building warehouse with, hundreds of solar panels. And we start to see more and more of those. How to maintain them, how to monitor them, how to understand how they are being built. Those who are taking part in this course will also work on the solar farm that the RT Park on St. Croix is building. And so through a partnership with RT Park, we have dedicated a portion of this farm to be for educational purposes so that students can learn, using a real solar farm. They can understand how to build one, how to monitor one, how to manage one, what to do if, there is a problem in terms of production and how to address those problems. So this course will take place on St. Croix. We are going to be offering this course on St. Thomas once we have built the solar farm for St. Thomas, which is, another project that we will discuss at a different time. The other course is selected topics. So as we sort of progress into this effort, as we start to hear feedback from the student, we might decide to create, an additional course to meet a need that is, that needs to be satisfied. One of them can be a deeper dive into battery system, because as I mentioned, the future is solar and battery for most people, regardless of the sort of national politics. And so one special topics course can be a deeper dive into battery system. Another topic can be about electric vehicle. This special topics course will be developed, as we start to learn more, as we start to get some feedback from students and practitioners. And then the last course, which is required, is an internship. We want our students to be industry ready. We want them to be book smart, but we also want them to have a real practical sense of what it means to work in a, competitive environment. And so the internship can be hands-on. The internship can be, design work at a desk. The student will have the choice, but there will be a mandatory internship for students to really, get to know what is required to behave and to operate in the workplace in, the 21st century. I'm receiving a message, so I'm making sure that it's none of my colleagues. No. But sometimes they give me some quick feedback. So those were the sort of specialized courses, right, developed solely for the RET program. But this is an AAS degree. We want students to be well-rounded. We want students to think beyond, solar installation or solar farm maintenance or wind farm maintenance. We want them to be able to start their own company. We want them to, branch out, become engineers if they want to, or become, get more certification, in a particular field of their own. And so for that, we need to have general education courses. Those general education courses are the math and the English that is required to do the calculation, because you can't design a solar farm without doing some math. You cannot design a solar battery system without doing some math and understand, voltage and amperage and all that stuff. So there will be some math and English, because you need to be able to communicate properly. You need to be able to write properly. But we also have other courses such as Introduction to Communication, Introduction to Geographic Information System. That's mapping. That's creating a map, understanding topography. Because if you build a solar farm, and we are doing this on St. Croix right now, sometimes you have to do earthwork. Sometimes you have to work with, people in a civil engineering sort of field. And so creating map, understanding the overall shape of the earth and placing things on a map correctly is a required skill that will take you beyond just solar. Science 100, the Natural World Caribbean, provides an understanding of the type of hazards that exist in the Caribbean, hurricanes and tsunamis and other type of hazard that can destroy or damage your system, so that you have those in mind. Because I know right now a lot of people are worried about solar and and hurricanes. Turns out you can build a solar farm for hurricane. You can build a wind farm for hurricane, but you need to understand what a hurricane means in terms of design, beyond just, in terms of lived experience. And then as you see on terms of the other required courses, we provide, we require students to take courses in marketing, to take courses in entrepreneurship and innovation, engineering drawings, so that they are able to not only generate drawings, but also understand drawings that they receive from an engineering firm. You cannot do any type of renewable energy system if you don't understand the basics of electricity. So basic electricity theory is a must. And you cannot work as a team. You cannot work on roofs. You cannot work in high altitude if you don't understand how to stay safe for you and your team. And so safety, health, and environment is also a required course so that you understand how to operate in a dangerous environment. And building sites are dangerous sites. And then the last required course is an elective. You can pick any class you want at UVI, but we are also thinking of, augmenting some of the courses, mostly thinking about managing buildings, managing assets, because those require knowledge of energy, water system, so that, you can think about maintenance of those assets in the long term. So now I will let Nikita take over. Nikita will continue to share screen, so just tell me next slide. But Nikita will walk you all through over the registration process.
Hi, yes, good morning, afternoon. My name's Nikita Beck, the research technician with the Caribbean Green Technology Center. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Just want to make sure. So this is just a brief walkthrough of how to register through UBI. This is primarily for non-matriculating students or employees of the UBI. So if you're not already affected to UBI, this is just how you would do it. So first, you'd head to the UBI website, ubi.edu. And for me, I like to go to the bottom of the website, and you would see here red, the red box, class schedules. You would click on that. So next slide, please. And that will take you to the registration information.
Well, they're connected to mine.
Excuse me?
I think it's Meek. So we're gonna...
because
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so yes, so clicking that class schedule link from the homepage will take you to registration information. And there would be 3 boxes, and you would click on spring 2025 semester, which would bring a drop down and would show you St. Croix, St. Thomas, St. Martin, and final exam schedule. And so since the RT program is primarily on St. Croix, you would click on St. Croix, which would then take you to the next slide. And then this will take you to the course offerings for next semester. And you can do it 2 ways. This is the easy way of doing it, of going to the drop-down box next to select subject and scroll down. It's alphabetical. So you'll scroll down to R where you see Renewable Energy Technology, and you click on that. Next slide. And then hit show courses. And this will give you just the code, the information for Intro to Renewable Energy, sorry. And the most important thing you want to get from this page is the CRN number that's in the red box. And for this course, it's 20798. And so once you have written down that number, you would then go, next slide. You would go back to the UBI page and go to the registrar's website, and you would click on the registration tab as highlighted in red. Next slide. Which will take you to this form that you need to complete. And if you are a non-UBI student or employee, you need to complete both pages. So the first page is a registration form, and the most important thing to include is the CRN number. So as you can see here, I have put an example name, first name and last name, and you put in the 20798. And in the UBI system, will fill out the information. And if you're a non-UBI person, you'd have to fill in the second page is like your personal information, like your name, your last name, your date of birth. And it'll help the registrar help guide you through the registration process easier. And once you completed this form, you would then send it off to registrar at UVI.edu, and then they would help you with completing the registration process for the course. And that's how you register.
Okay. Well, thank you, Nikita. So that concludes our brief presentation. And now we can entertain any questions.
I have a question.
Yes.
What is the cost for the program?
So the cost for the program is the cost for anyone who attends UVI. So I believe one credit is around $400, $440 per credit. I believe that there are some help and assistance for those who have graduated from a high school in the VI, and there's also some scholarship. Will the program allow transferring credit from your other universities? So that's a good question. I think the answer would be that for a lot of the general courses, you should be able to transfer some of the credit. If you had credit in terms of the technical course, if you have credit from other courses, you just need to look at the syllabus from those other courses and sort of make a decision. So for the sort of solar renewable energy centric courses, we need to, I think that's something that we need to look at. But if you're talking about the English, the math, the communication type courses, I believe that it should be relatively easy to get credit for that. I believe, yes, so there is a link in the chat about the fees for registration at UVI. I think there was another question about online. Yes, so no, you cannot do everything online. As much as we see the value for many, especially the fact that, some of the courses on St. Thomas, there is a fair amount of hands-on. We believe that it's just very difficult to have a degree in renewable energy technology, especially with such a concentration in solar, if you don't actually touch a panel, put a panel on a racking system. And so that's why we think that the hands-on, the labs are required. We're going to try to do as much of the non-lab online, but there is a hands-on component to this effort that is at the moment difficult to do online. So it cannot be 100% online. We are going to test starting this spring. That's when we start the introduction to the Renewable Energy Technology program. There will be a bit of hands-on that we expect students to complete on their own. Same thing with the energy management course. But there's a point where you cannot be online.
Greg, there's another question in the chat. How do you apply for the scholarship, and is there an exact course start date?
So the first course, the introduction to renewable energy, will be offered in the spring. The general education course are listed in the catalog. So you can check the catalog, but a lot of the math and the English are also offered in the spring and the fall on a regular basis. For the scholarships, I think, so right now there is no scholarship just for this degree. That is something that we are still investigating. So we will provide information about the scholarship for this degree, specifically for this degree. We will talk about it once we've finalized some of the discussion that are ongoing. But for other scholarship, you should consult the UVI sort of financial aid page. But I'm hoping that, before the start, I'm hoping that very soon we will provide some answer about a scholarship specifically for this program. That's something that we are still working on.
I have another question.
Mhm.
In regards to the NABCEP certification, is that additional? Is that included with the price, or is that? I think that's the first question. And the second question is this program at all affiliated or in synergy or have a relationship with LEED?
With LEED?
Yes.
Okay. In terms of the NABCEP, students would have to pay for a fee to take the exam. We will provide the training, but students will have to pay a fee to pay for the exam. In terms of LEED, no, we are not associated with LEED. We're probably gonna talk about this and talk about the various component and criteria that go into LEED certification, especially because I've mentioned the fact that, energy management, the energy management course, there is a fair amount of LEED or LEED-like sort of consideration that need to be taken into account. So we're going to go and explain that. And then which I think we will develop a special topics course on building management, we will touch upon LEED certification, but there are other type of certification for building. And LEED might not be the most sustainable solution sometimes. So we'll be talking about some of those components, but this is not a class to become a LEED certified person.
Thank you.
Hey, Greg, I had a quick question. So for the internship, anyone who's working in a related field or a company that does work related to the course, could they use that as their internship? And what would that look like? Would we be required to do specific things for the company?
Yeah, so there's going to be a rubric that will be used as a guide for the person receiving the intern, but also for the intern in terms of expectations of what we expect the intern to sort of learn. And so I think we haven't created that rubric yet, but when we create and finalize that rubric, yes, it will provide some guidance. So if you do an internship, so at UVI, students, there's other program in a business school, for example, where students are required to take an internship. Some students have taken an internship at the CGTC, for example, which is part of UVI, but since it's an internship, we had to sort of create a project to meet those criteria for the student. We cannot just sort of like continue to work and operate as normal. So I'm expecting that to happen in a situation like you described, where the employer would have to sort of maybe create a special project for this person who is already an employee.
Okay, thank you.
Greg, there's another question in the chat. Person's asking, I'm a UVI student on the senior program who will pay as they pay my courses now for students 60 plus? And the second part to that is there an age limit to join this program?
We don't have any age limit. The program, there's no age limit. I would say, so from a legal point of view, I don't think we can put any limit. I don't think it's right to put any limit. The only thing I would say is that, there's going to be a component of, there's going to be some physical work because the lab requires lifting stuff. It might require to go up on a ladder. We might not go very high, but there's some physical component to the work. Because like I mentioned earlier about the online, we want to have the student to have a hands-on. And so that's something that, any person applying, regardless of age, needs to take into account. As I'm a UVI student, so will they pay as they pay my course? So, okay, so what you're saying is that if you are 60 plus courses are free at UVI, I believe that is going to be the case. I don't see why there would be an exception, but I can verify. But I don't see why there would be an exception if that's the regulation of UVI of everybody under 60 gets a free education.
Okay, there's another question. I graduated in 2016 from UVI with a BS in mathematics. Will I be able to skip some of those intro classes in UVI, for example, college algebra?
I mean, yeah, I think, yes, I don't see why we would require you to take classes that you've already taken. However, introduction to communication or, the drawing class, I don't think that, I mean, if you take an introduction to communication, good, but the drawing class or marketing class, if you haven't taken those, you would have to take those.
Next question, will you provide the slide deck to attendees for reference?
Yes, we will turn that into a PDF and we can send them to attendees. The recording is also available on YouTube or will be made available on YouTube, so we can, in that email, send the YouTube link to attendees.
Are there any other questions?
There is one other question. I think Samaya, she sent it via direct message, but she was asking, what school will this be under?
The College of Science and Math.
Next question. So this is spring, correct? That is
So
correct.
in the spring, we're going to start with the introduction to renewable energy. And in the fall, the plan is to have the both the introduction to renewable energy, but also the energy management course, energy auditing course. If you already have a degree, so if you have already taken the math and the English composition, all those core courses, yes, there is no need to take a course that you already taken.
A follow-up on that question. So would those credits be added to the number of required credits for the course, or do we still have to take other credits to get to the total amount we need?
I will double check, but I would believe that those will be considered. It's not a number game, it's more a capacity game. Do you have the math? Do you have the English? So it's not, do you have 1, 2, 3, 4? So my understanding, and I will double check, because because I don't know every single regulation when it comes to a UVI, but I would say that I really have I cannot imagine you having to take a course just to get a number if you already have taken those courses at UVI. So I think it goes back to the transferring from another college.
Okay.
I'm currently a math major. Do I have to change my major now or wait to see if this program is for me? So if you're a math major, you are on your path to have a Bachelor of Science. This is an associate degree, so it's a 2-year program, whereas the Bachelor of Science is a 4-year program. So what I would say is that look at your course schedule. If you can take an elective, please take the Introduction to Renewable Energy Technology this spring. It will give you a good sense of the type of math, physics, the type of engineering that is involved. You can minor in it if you want to do more. And that's the path I would suggest for you, is to minor in it since you are already on your way to get a 4-year degree. But if you are hesitant about college, if you are hesitant about a 4-year degree, but really interested in a fuller field, we believe that this associate degree is for you. You can decide, I got what I need, I want to get and enter the workforce. Or you can decide, I really like this, I would like to know more, both from a practical standpoint or from a science standpoint. And you can go on and continue with a physics degree or math degree, because you would already have taken the general education courses.
Are there any other questions?
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I'm going to create a new slide with my email address. And I will share my screen.
Mylan, question that you have?
No, just thanking for the presentation. It was very good. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen so you can see the address of the website, where we have, some of this information. We also have, we're also going to post those slides. And then if you have any question, please email me at the email address that you see on the screen. And with that said, if there's no more question, please, thank you very much, and have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you.
Hopefully that
Thank
was a
you.
great lunch.
Thank
And you
you.
learned a lot.